Good morning, team. Paul here with GammaEdge. Today is Thursday, the 18th of August. Let's get started. Pause your players, please. Read this to the end. If you agree, hit that play button. Overall, the markets are starting to show a little toppiness. Yesterday was a first day of a downtrend terminating the short-term trend. The intermediate term is still up, but it's under pressure, and if it crosses what we call the ribbon, we'll talk about it here in a second, then it'll turn off. The long-term trend is up. Of course, this is paper trades only. None of this is a recommendation to buy or sell any actual securities. The zeros of the complex continue to move upward. We do think this is bullish, but yes, we can pull back. We had some questions come in on that. Divergences happen all the time. The reason for that is real-time price and the option complex are not 100% linked on a minute over minute. We place these trades, they have time, and we give them time, and that's the disconnect between real-time prices and the momentum or the mass of the option complex. Overall, we are seeing some reductions in the short-term plus GEX levels. If you look at the wing charts, and we'll see that here shortly, you'll see that the short-term positive gamma is dropping and then short-term negative gamma is increasing. So this is a short-term confirmation of a pullback, and if it continues, we'll know about it and we'll be able to do something about it. And then finally, the plus GEX level for the SPX remains at 4,400. That is the dominant level. We are showing 3,900 to the negative dominant level. 4,150 is the downside line in the sand. And so we're expecting a little more chop. Today is the last trading day for the AM settled SPX. We have quite a bit coming off of that. So between today and tomorrow, expect final redistribution of about $2 trillion or so. Taking a look at the market model, the cumulative tick. Yesterday's breadth was bad. This is the 52-week new high, new lows. You can see we've been in a positive environment. Yesterday reset. We'll see what happens today. We did get some selling by the filtered cumulative tick here. This is profit taking most likely by the big boys and girls, and that's something to pay attention to. Even after the FOMC minutes were released, there was an initial positive reaction and then that secondary reaction where they continued to sell. So just be aware of that. This is the short-term signal reversal. When it crossed that first moving average, that's usually a heads up. You want to think about, if you got in back down in here, about taking some profits. And then when it crosses below the ribbon, certainly you should be thinking about getting out of that. And then we had a confirmation that I did not annotate when they started inverting in this zone. So certainly could have taken some profits in those areas, and it would have been positive for your overall trade metrics. The intermediate term signal is measured by the distance that we have above what we call the ribbons, and we're still positive, but you can see we're under pressure. But long term, the slopes on the ribbon are still upward, they're positive, and although your eye can see that visually we are slowing. So we're tracking this. If we continue to move south and cut the upper ribbon, that'll invalidate the intermediate term signal, and if we lose the bottom side here with the cumulative tick, that'll invalidate the long-term trend. So be aware of that and what you're going to do if that occurs. SPX condition, as I said, the wing charts compared to the previous day, we're showing short-term negative gamma going in, short-term positive gamma coming out. This is the SPX combo, which is the addition of the AM settled and the PM settled. You can see across the board we're seeing a more bearish stance from yesterday, and that may continue. Now, all of that being said, we are seeing zeros go up in the complex, although slightly, so 4190 to 4195. Also are seeing a slight redistribution of the put open interest and call open interest, so POI and COI. We're seeing those move up, and we think that is fairly significant too, and want to pay attention to that. as those levels will begin to dominate as we go forward here. Now this is on the SPX P, which is the PM settled. It's much smaller than the AM, and you can see we're still sitting at 4,000 on both COI and POI over here. So even though the PM settled has moved, the overall combo complex has not, and this is really what we're seeing and playing with in the longer term. The zeros, they continue upward, nothing more to say there. When we see price start coming down more aggressively and possibly cutting them, you can see here on IWM that we've never really achieved getting above that true gamma zero. But everything else is looking fairly good, fairly strong. We're watching the Qs for weakness. We're watching the SPY for weakness, and the SPX complex, the blue lines are the same. So still bullish. The pullbacks look good. So stay with the trend until we get other confirmation. SPX OI changes. Look at the scales. Important to look at the scales in the major divisions. You can see very clearly that we are adding puts faster than we're adding calls, and you can see the distributions down here within the Discord. You can click on these charts and you can hover over these, and it tells you all the details that you would want to know. So I would urge everyone to do that. Key levels for today, really just showing here 4,000, 3,900, and 4,400 as I spoke of. Coming down in magnitudes and starting to see a little bit of negativity creep in here as puts continue to be added. So just want to be aware of that and watch how this progresses upward. The 0 DTE, very weak, balanced. It's almost zero. We closed right at the top of the negative GEX level, which is the base of transition, which I've highlighted here in yellow. Why this is a big deal is we see this all the time. Basically hiding in transition overnight on the 0 DTE is a good place from a gamma perspective and even a delta perspective. These are very small numbers. The exposure to the dealers is very small. So from a 0 DTE, we're not expecting any contribution. I've drawn the lines where the range 2% roughly up and down. You can see where we could play today, and there's not a lot of contribution from the 0 DTE as we approach these boundaries. A little more here on the downside than there is upside. The combo, which is the AM and PM settled, I think is a bigger deal. Today and tomorrow we're going to see approximately 24% of the complex gamma go away. When we remove that gamma, and it's a fairly significant amount that we're going to be starting from a positive position, we're going to be taken away. It might expose some weakness in this. I'm not presenting here in the morning call the differentials of what we're going to see if we take today and tomorrow away, but you can come into the Discord and we've got those charts. Positive gamma above significant levels. I've highlighted them here in yellow. We do have precedents of taking out a 45 billion delta level in the recent past, and so this is very much starting to move in the realm of being absorbed. So it's very possible that if we start testing some of these levels, since we are seeing a net reduction in deltas, that we could actually start playing to the downside. I think the levels of support that we're seeing here are not nearly as strong as they were yesterday, and I would urge everyone to go back and look at yesterday's presentation. To the upside, 43.35 looks to be where we start a transition. You can see the magnitudes of the numbers are starting to get pretty weak up here, and this weakness and sign changes that we're seeing in the delta tend to show a weakening of the structure. Think of the sand underneath your toes starting to erode, and we're starting to see that. Downside gamma is very ugly. It's transitory, very ill-defined, so a lot of noise down in here, and we continue to expect to see that. Here at Circle 2, 4,400 dominant, 4,350 looks to be the next line, and you can see that very clearly here. And just note that, again, I don't think we're going to push much higher than 43.35 into any near-term close, certainly not today. This is probably the best view of just showing what we're up against. 41.50 is the last line in the sand. Below that, things really get ugly pretty quickly. 3,900 down here minus GEX. Up here, 4,400 is plus GEX, but just note that if we do erode this 4,400 through call closure, we could actually see either call closure or short interest opening up, shorts of the 4,400 opening up. We could see 43.50. A loss of this could be construed as bearish, so we'll want to pay attention to that. The structure down here is getting ugly again, transitory, just not looking very clean. So with that, I will leave you. If you like today's content and want to learn more, please come join us at GammaEdge.us. Yes, we know the website needs to be built out. We're in the process of putting these charts up on the website, and hence all our focus is really on getting these what we call PBI charts up there. It's Power BI dashboard charts. Nevertheless, click on the pricing tab. Click on that. That'll get you into the Discord. 14-day free trial. All the tools turned on. We have extensive tools in the Discord. Getting ready to add moneyness probably this weekend or early next week, which will open up a few people's eyes, including mine. GammaEdges on Twitter with an S, and then here on YouTube, of course. If you like today's content, let me know by smashing that like button, and of course subscribe so that we can tell you the next time myself, Michael, or Taylor post another video. So with that, have a great Thursday. Remember, today is the last trading day for the SPX AM settled. They expire at the open tomorrow morning, and so as a result, we probably will see a redistribution of the remaining contracts out in time, and where it goes is going to be important. All right, take care, everyone. See you in the Discord.